Hey everybody, happy Monday. I'm Beth Caldwell and I'm here again for you with Monday Morning Mastermind, tips for women on life and business, because you know what? We just don't separate the two. Today I want to talk to you about being hard on yourself, beating yourself up. And I have to tell you, I know a lot about this subject because I am an expert at being too hard on myself and beating myself up. In fact, I caught myself doing it twice this week. So even though I have had a lot of coaching and I've done a lot of work around this, it's still a habit that I slip into. So I did some research, and a recent New York Times article talks about how we as Americans, and particularly American women, are very hard on ourselves. We're very critical of ourselves. We have really high and unrealistic expectations. And those kind of thoughts can lead to depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. And a recent study from the University of Wisconsin reported that being too hard on yourself can lead to chronic illness and accelerated aging. And I think that's just another reason for us to be hard on ourselves by reading that fact. So, this is something that I have struggled with for years, having the tendency to think that I'm not accomplishing enough, that I'm not busy enough, or that I need to be busy every single minute of every single day, and I need to be accomplishing and creating things all the time. And this is just not true. And as some of you know, if you've heard my stories or if you've read my book, this habit of having ridiculous expectations and being too hard on myself led me to being very, very sick, to a point where I couldn't work at all. And I had to create some new habits. So the new habit that I want to talk to you about today, two things. When you are being too hard on yourself, here's an example. I told you that I always wonder what I'm going to talk about, and then I see a theme in my week. So here's a couple of emails and text messages that I got from my clients this week. One of them was, hey, I'm on vacation and I got absolutely nothing done. You're on vacation. You're not supposed to be working on vacation. Now, you guys are laughing, but you have also packed a tote bag full of work materials to take on vacation with you, and then felt frustrated with yourself for not doing it. And you know what? Men do this too. Where my boyfriend works, one of his coworkers went out of town for 2 weeks and checked in every morning and every afternoon. It's just, we have a really hard time leaving work at work, and we feel very obligated to be working an accomplishment and creating all the time, okay? So if you catch yourself doing that, I have two new habits for you to add to your life. Number one is to be realistic. Be realistic. When you take a look at your to-do lists, and I know what your to-do list looks like, all right? When you take a look at your to-do list and you go, I'm not gonna be able to get this done in a day. Or I can't believe I only checked off 16 things out of 30. I'm such a slacker, right? When you look at that list, I want you to, number one, get realistic and ask yourself, if you had an assistant, or if you do have an assistant, would you expect that person to do all of the things on that list in one day? This is why I teach my clients to not have a to-do list. We do a brain dump, all of the things that we have to do, we put them right onto our calendar. So we don't have that annoying list constantly beating us up for the things that nagging us about the things that we need to do. So number one, be realistic. Is what you're expecting of yourself something that you would ever expect anybody else to do in the same amount of time, okay? And number two is to be compassionate with yourself and to acknowledge the things that you do get done. I used to have years ago a very bad habit of getting ready to go to bed and walking up the steps to go to bed at night. And on every step, I would think of something I didn't do. Oh, you didn't send that email. Oh, you didn't sign that contract. Oh, you forgot to make that phone call. Oh, did you put the clothes in the washer? Oh my gosh, you didn't put the clothes in the washer, right? And sometimes I would go back downstairs and work a couple of more hours. That is a habit that will make you old and sick. Don't do that to yourself. Instead, think about what you did get done. And what I have some of my clients do when they're working with me, when they're really struggling with being hard on themselves, is for a week, I make them keep a list of all of their accomplishments in a day. How many of you have ever gone to bed at night and just laid in bed and thought about the things that you didn't do and the things that you should have done and the things that you don't want to forget to do? Okay, that's a habit. And when you instead, at the end of the day, review all of the things that you did accomplish, you don't go to bed worried, you go to bed tired, because you do a lot in a day and you accomplish a lot in a day. And that's what I want you to focus on this week. So this week, every day, focus on your accomplishments instead of what you didn't get done. And I bet you're gonna be a lot more optimistic at the end of the week. Have a wonderful Monday, have a very productive week, and here's to your accomplishments.